Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, a police report was just obtained about the incident that happened earlier this year on the Disney Dream. Remember the whole story about the 5-year-old child who fell overboard and the father jumped in to rescue her, and everybody was blaming the father, and then the police had to come out and say, hey, the father was the hero, but there kind of is a villain in this story. So really, I don't know what it is with people on vacation. So many people leave their common sense at home. Things that they would never do at home, they would do on a cruise ship. For instance, you would never put your 5-year-old on the railing of an apartment building on the 15th floor for a photo on your balcony in your apartment, right? At least we would hope you wouldn't. But people think nothing of doing stuff like this on cruise ships. But let's break down the story as it happened and unfolded. It happened around June 30th of this year. And there was the story where all of a sudden a girl was on one of the lower decks. It's a porthole window. It's a giant porthole window that walks around the lower deck of the ship. You can walk through the area, you can do your exercise, your steps, etc. It's a place to get fresh air, see the ocean. Well, a 5-year-old fell from there, and the father was alerted by the mother that the daughter had fallen overboard, according to the police report. Then after notifying the crew, yelling and stuff like that, he jumped in the water to save her. Now, other people also threw in life preservers, but they were kind of too far away from the father to take a chance because his daughter couldn't swim, 5-year-old, and he managed to find her. He had a hard time finding her, could only find her by her sound of her screaming and yelling. Found her, got a hold of her, and treaded water for about 10 minutes before the cruise ship crew managed to get over and rescue them. And miraculously, the child was unhurt, the father was unhurt, and they lived to tell this story again in the future as a kind of a warning to everybody of what can happen. But social media immediately, because the father was so present in the story, they assumed that, well, hey, if he was there and he jumped overboard to save her, did he put her on the railing? Was he letting her do something stupid or taking photos? Apparently he was like not even looking at her at the time. She was with her mother, which is why the mother notified the father that she had gone overboard. And during this commenting and the questioning that was going on, one of the comments by the mother did come out and say that she felt Disney should have glass on these portholes or plexiglass covering them for safety, which is a little bit of a red flag to me, immediately going to the story of, hey, there should be something there. And when there should be something there, that usually means that you were probably doing something you shouldn't be doing. We all remember the very sad story back in, I believe it was 2019, with the grandfather who lifted the granddaughter up to an open window on Royal Caribbean on the Lido deck, and she went to pound on the glass, she slipped out of his hand, fell to the ground. Horrible story. But the immediate thing was, hey, I thought there was a window here. Hey, I couldn't tell there was no window here. If you've ever been on these ships, you can tell immediately there's a completely different look, from the glass and the non-glass. You can hear the wind, you can feel the breeze. You immediately know when you're approaching it, there's no glass there. It's a pretty obvious thing. And it's pretty obviously the same on the Disney Dream, where if you're going up to these portholes and you're your ship is moving in the ocean. There is no way you cannot tell you're in open air. There is no possible way you don't know you're outside at that point. The wind is just blowing through that area. The sound of the ocean and the waves is dramatic. If there was a window or glass, you would not hear it as loud. There would be no wind. It'd be like completely different. But the detective in this story noted that says, upon immediately looking at this opening, I knew immediately there was no wick glass or plexiglass there. As a prudent person, I should know better than to put my daughter on the railing to take a photo, because apparently he says that's what happened. The mother told the daughter to get there, and that's how she lost her balance and fell into the water. And the mother apparently was blaming Disney for not having a window there, which usually is a good sign of, yeah, maybe I need to look at blaming something other than myself. But people were immediately vilifying the father because he was so close by, and he's the one that captured footage of him in the boat, rescuing, jumping in the water, and people thought, well, he must have been the one taking the photo, he must have been the one there. In all matter of fact, it's because of him this story did not end tragically. Very, very tragically. And the detective actually recommended that child neglect charges would be brought against the mother for placing the 5-year-old child in danger. Now, the prosecuting attorney at the time apparently decided, I think they learned their lesson. It wasn't intent, it was reckless, but we're going to leave it at this. And they did not press charges at this point. But it just goes to show we sometimes just completely lose our common sense when we go on a cruise ship. And for the sake of a photo, the sake of a photograph, you put your child in danger, or you put yourself in danger, or a friend in danger. To take a picture, it is beyond reason. And this story could have had a horrible, horrible ending if it wasn't for the heroism of the father, who jumped in after her, risking his life to save his daughter, like any father would normally do, any parent would do. It is still flabbergasting when you look at those windows, and in your all honesty opinion, if you've ever been on a cruise ship before and you've been on an open area like that, is there any possible way you had no idea there was no window there? And if you say yes, I don't think you've ever been on a cruise ship. Well, that's the update. I just want to let you know, please don't do anything foolish out there on cruise ships. Pictures are not worth losing a life and endangering yourself. It's just not. Well, I hope you appreciate this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.